All right, and we're back for another episode of the Sports Department Podcast with Justin Valentovic, Stephen Clark, and Stephen Bologna. Jesse's not here, so this will be a nice short one. So, kind of like him. So, we'll talk about the NFL, and they're into the divisional round of the playoffs, so we'll preview those 4 games, as well as we'll do some quick little recap of Wildcard Weekend before we get into that. So, guys, what's going on? Nobody? Anyone going to talk?
I'm doing great. Yeah, football, nice fun weekend of football. We just had the wild card round, divisional round this weekend.
That was fun.
Good to talk about. I had fun.
Yeah, well, the results were fun. The results were fun. The games to watch, none of them weren't too fun.
Yeah, like half of them were blowouts, but
yeah,
football's good. Life's all right. Chugging along.
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking.
All right, cool.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. Normal old mess of a person, me. So, wild card weekend. Bengals beat the Raiders 26-19. Bills beat the Pats 47-17. Thank God. Bucks beat the Eagles 31-16. Niners beat the Cowboys 23-17. Chiefs beat the Steelers 42-21, and Rams beat the Cardinals 34-11. So, any games real quick you guys want to hit on? Any takeaways? Because I got one.
Yeah, we'll just do takeaways. I like that. First thing, Jesse's lucky he's not here because his so beloved Patriots, got their ass.
He told us. They
were the team.
Yeah,
they're gonna win. They're gonna call the way. Don't count out the Patriots. And
I'm glad the Patriots lost, right? But I'm even more happy in the way they lost and just getting utterly blown out. Yeah. And when you have Josh Allen throwing to offensive tackles for touchdowns when they were up 6 scores already at that point.
And Wiener's getting thrown on the field too.
Great
that's stuff.
20 years of frustration of getting just absolutely owned by the Patriots and throwing it back in their face is what that is.
No, it was good for all Patriot haters like us too as well. I mean, we're not still used to. I mean, last year they didn't make the playoffs, but besides that, we're not used to seeing the Patriots, wild card exit, especially in
struggling
this fashion
in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, we're used to seeing them, going to the Super Bowl, maybe losing an AFC championship, losing divisional round, close game, but not getting blown out in a wild card round by a division rival too. So I enjoyed the game. It wasn't the best game of the weekend, obviously.
It was the most enjoyable, though.
Enjoyable for a Patriots hater standpoint. Yeah.
My thing with the Patriots is, great game by the Bills overall. Now, I'm overreacting to this. Mac Jones towards the end of the season, and then this game, really bad.
Well, you have to think too.
A lot of work.
Early on, he didn't hit the rookie wall like when we thought he would. He didn't have the early season struggles. He just saved it for the back end of the season. Which
you can't blame his weapons either. He's got great weapons, arguably one of the best.
Kendrick Bourne had a great game. He had like 2 touchdowns.
He was like the only one who did anything for them.
Yeah, you're right.
Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith. Come on.
No, the help's there, but obviously it's not, the 06 Patriots with Wes Welker, Randy Moss and Tom Brady. But, it was a capable offense. So the fact that they really struggled as well as they did, as much as they did, oof.
Yeah.
So, yikes. Another thing too, 49ers took out the Cowboys. Thank God, because
wild.
When we were talking, off pods and all that stuff, the worst matchup for anyone where no one wins is Patriots Cowboys, right? And thankfully, that matchup got taken out right away. So we don't have to worry about that because do we really want to see the Patriots win another Super Bowl? No. Does anybody outside the Dallas, Texas area want to see the Cowboys win?
No.
God, no. So the fact that the Niners went in and basically controlled the game the whole time, cool. Thank God. And Cowboys, they have a lot of reassessing to do now in the offseason.
Niners just dominated this game. If Dallas won, they didn't deserve it. Most penalties in franchise history, 14. The ending obviously speaks for itself. Dak going for, and here's my
hilarious
defend the Cowboys at this. I like the play design. Dak, he went too far. If he slides 6 yards earlier, you get one more play.
I disagree.
Go 15, go 10.
I think it was a stupid play call.
Blame the refs too. Dak Prescott saying all credit to the fans for refs. That's just a sore loser.
Well, then
Cowboys,
he apologized.
And then when they asked, are they throwing stuff at you? He's like, no, they're throwing stuff at the refs. Oh, okay, that's even better. But it's like, like you said, why are they calling a quarterback draw with no timeouts?
I see. I don't like the play call. Steve, you defended it a little. I'm not the biggest fan. I mean, you go sideline passes, you go passing in general. You don't run the ball at all.
You can run it maybe once or twice if you have a timeout. If you have a timeout, which they didn't have.
They didn't have it. You got to pass it.
That's the thing where it's like if they think Kellen Moore is supposed to be the next head coach or going to be a head coach somewhere else at some point, like
got some interviews.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like, isn't this a blemish on his resume for those interviews? Like, how do you walk into an interview and be like, explain this?
Unless he blames McCarthy off the gate, like, hey, not my call, McCarthy's call.
Here's my thing. The 49ers on that play, there was about 14 seconds on the clock. They had every defender on the sidelines.
Yes. So they gave up the middle specifically for that reason.
If they did a 15-yard pass to Dalton Schultz in the middle, what's the difference? You know, if Dak if he slid earlier and then try and get those extra yards, they would have had one more play. That's my thing. The play call is not terrible. I mean, what else were they going to do? It'd have been pretty much same outcome. But again, they didn't deserve to win. And Niners have a tough test on Saturday night. But Jimmy G, he's rising that stock up, and good for the Niners because they should get a little bit of a haul back from them.
Yeah, and two games we really don't have to hit on. Chiefs stomped the Steelers 42-21. Big Ben's done, so Jesse's not here to eulogize his quarterback. And Bucks beat the Eagles 31-16, which we all expected. Jalen Hurts just couldn't really do much of anything. And finally, Rams beat the Cardinals handedly. And boy, oh boy, where do we take the Cardinals now? Because it went from Kyler Murray being MVP to him struggling a little bit and now having a horrible loss in the playoffs.
It's the same thing with the Cardinals every year. It really is. They start off hot last couple of years, and then, they start to fall off track, and they either just miss the playoffs or they just get in. And when they get in like they did this year, they stink, and they put up a stinker. And the thing was, I mean, I know they started off, what was it, 10-0? Was it
8
this year?
8-0, I think.
They played some solid teams there. A couple of them were trash. You had the Texans, the Jaguars, all that, but played the Titans. Played
losing to the Jags.
Couldn't be me. They beat the Rams. I mean, they split the season series with the Rams, so this was the tiebreaker game in the playoffs. They beat a couple of good teams, but then they started to fall off, and we saw what happened. The Rams came back and beat them. Colts beat them with the depleted roster on Christmas Day. The Seahawks wound up beating them the last week of the season. Barely squeaked out a win against the Cowboys. So, they started to fall off, and it's the same stories with the Cardinals and the Raiders. Honestly, two very similar teams there. They just kind of, start hot, cool down, skip into the playoffs, and just get eliminated first round.
So real quick then, before we wrap up, move on to the divisional round. Similar question for the Cards and the Cowboys. Does McCarthy and Kingsbury start on the hot seat next season?
Not Kingsbury. I mean, I get you lose. They did verse one of the best teams in the league in LA. Now, the thing is, he needs an extension. I mean, his contract's up. So
is it?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, because there was all the rumors that he would go back to
college
coaching. They had to extend him this offseason, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean,
I'll look.
The Cowboys, I think, are the first team. What is it, Justin?
There's a 5th-year option that the team could pick up.
They'll pick that up.
Yeah.
So they'll give him the shot at least of this year and see what he can do with the team. I mean, I don't really think they're both on the hot seat yet. More McCarthy more than anything. I would say
absolutely think so.
Just because Cowboys haven't won a playoff game in God knows how long. And
I saw a stat where, do you know what other team has the Cowboys since opening Jerry World have 3 playoff wins in that stadium? Do you know what other team has just as many playoff wins in that stadium?
In that stadium, so NFC team probably.
Seattle,
Alabama.
Oh, wow, it's kind of funny.
Where the college playoffs don't go there every single year.
That is funny.
So a college program that plays there, let's say maybe every other to every 3 years.
That's funny.
Have the same amount of playoff wins, albeit college to pros, but the same amount of playoff wins as the Dallas Cowboys in their own stadium, which opened in 2009.
That's funny. That's really funny, actually.
That's a funny little takeaway there.
Yeah.
Anything else on Wildcard Weekend before we move along?
Game's quick.
Good for Cincinnati. They finally have their Messiah at QB.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into the winners while we
Yeah.
talk about the next game. So no, I'm okay for right now.
All right. So then let's lead things off with Cincinnati. So their first game on Saturday, as the NFL put both number 1 seeds, Packers Titans, on Saturday. So they equal have the same amount of time off, which bitching and moaning wise makes sense. So the Bengals lead off going to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Does he have another one in him? As King Henry, though, is also coming back.
Is it official? Like
Yes.
Officially official?
I think so. I mean,
they are looking to get a few snap. He's going to be on a snap count.
He's going to be on a I don't trust that. If Henry's not 100%, I don't like their chances. I'm not being biased too, because I know I don't like the Titans, but I truly don't like. I truly don't like their chances if Henry's not 100%. If Henry's 100%, this would be a different conversation right now. I think he'll run all over Cincinnati. I still think he'll do fine, but he won't be that same King Henry we're used to. So I'm not liking their chances as of right now.
The Bengals defense is basically going to have a perfect game, though. Because I think I saw that Trey Hendrickson, he cleared concussion, so he's back.
Yeah,
that helps with their pass rush and getting to Tannehill. Because once you kind of start hitting Tannehill and get him uncomfortable is when he starts making bad plays.
Stupid throws, yeah.
Yeah, I think Tannehill not going to play great, and he keeps Cincinnati in it. I ultimately think the Titans are just a far better team.
Do they have AJ? Is AJ Brown back? And Julio,
I think both them and Julio are back. Yeah.
So they're basically at full strength as well at that point. And then at that point, it's going to be, can the Bengals defense keep them in check when, kind of Eli Apple is your best corner? It's him and who's the Steeler that went there? Mike Hilton. And Jesse Bates, they have a decent secondary, but
their safeties are fine.
Like this defense, I was ready to write them off as probably one of the worst defenses in the NFL. As then, of course, that came back to bite me. So if they want to do well, just have me shit on you on that team, and then they'll do well. Look at the Titans.
Colts more often.
Yeah, I don't shit on them enough, but
I'm not worried about Burrow versus the Titans defense. It's the other way around, like we've been saying. I think Burrow can honestly slice and dice up that defense a little bit. I really do. He showed it last week. He's easy to show it again. It's that other side of the ball, like we've been talking about. The Bengals defense needs to step up and make plays against the Titans offense. And if the Titans offense rolls and King Henry shows what he used to show when he was fully healthy, then that's a Titan. I can't guarantee that he's going to be fully healthy. So if we're doing predictions, I'm going to take the Bengals here to win.
Any score?
Yeesh.
I think it's gonna be a higher scoring game.
I was gonna say Bengals 34, Titans 31.
Steve, what do you think?
I really want to say Bengals, but I can just see the Titans winning 31-17.
Like this Bengals team, right? Doesn't it kind of give you 2017 Eagles vibes? Kind of going into the playoffs. Yeah, obviously, Burrow's not dead. Burrow's there. Obviously, that's why they are.
Gotta get the underdog, the dog.
But it's if Jamar Chase has another one of his games that he's been having this whole season, where it's $150, 2 touchdowns minimum. But it's not even just him. They've had Tyler Boyd and
T. Higgins has been
fantastic for them.
Uzama's been great.
Well, that helps when you have 3 literal Pro Bowl caliber wide receivers,
and then Mixon. Yeah, and Mixon's having a breakout year.
The Bengals offense has been they've done a great job, obviously supporting Joe Burrow. That's how they got here, if we're being honest. So, like you said, Clark, it's going to have to be a high scoring game, and my gut really wants to take the Bengals. I really, really do, but I don't think I can just because they are very young. They are inexperienced, and it is in Tennessee, which we've known from experience. When you go into Tennessee, you go there to die. So, give me the Titans 27-24.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Titans here. It's going to come down to what defense can get to the opposing QB first and what offense can not turn the ball over. And at that point, I'll take the veteran with the offensive line and arguably better weapons and better run game. So, and the better defense on the other side. So I'm taking the Titans 28-24.
What do you guys think Jesse would take? He didn't send us his pick, so I'm just kind of spitballing here. What do you think?
He's on a Burrow train like me.
I think he'd go Bengals too.
Yeah,
he's going to pick a tie.
in the playoffs, you physically get.
I think both teams win
7-3 Bengals.
Oh, what a bad game that would be.
Like a mutt game Clark and I played earlier today. It was 2-0 at halftime. We only got a safety to It was brutal. So second half of the Saturday games, 49ers going to Green Bay. Big storylines, of course, is Fred Warner and who's the other 49er that got banged up? Why am I drawing a blank? Bosa. Yeah, he got concussed. So
that should tell you enough about what's going on there. Even if they're healthy, I mean, makes it a little closer, obviously. But
when you lose your best pass rusher, best linebacker,
your best two players on your defense.
Yep. When you really don't have much of a secondary after that.
Yeah.
And it's going to come down to, does Jimmy Garoppolo have one of the throws where you go, what in the hell was that?
I think it's going to be a slaughter.
You think so?
I think so too. No, I think so, especially at Lambeau, one last dance thing that's going on with Rodgers. Who knows what his status
is. It's a night game at Lambeau, and that's going to how cold is it?
It's going to be cold. Yeah, about to say it's about to be cold. Niners are used to the nice Santa Clara area, warmth and all that. Now,
it's 1 degree right now in Green Bay. We'll take a 10-day.
Yeah, let us know Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Yeah, I mean, Clark's right. Saturday night in Lambeau, Rodgers has had nice 2 weeks off. And
rest those toes,
They've just been on such a roll.
So Saturday, during the day, which doesn't matter, it's supposed to be 20 degrees. At night, 0.
Yeah.
With the wind chill that makes it feel like -1.
It's cold.
This is a good Packer defense too. So
that's healthy now. They got healthy at the right time. They've been missing guys all year.
Year's coming back.
Was it Preston Smith's been out? I think back a little bit. So they're all healthy now. You have easy money here. Easy money.
Devondre Campbell was a first-team All-Pro somehow.
Yeah, I saw that. I did see that.
Yeah, I really like everyone's on the Debo train, which obviously rightfully so. He's a fantastic player. But it's going to be really, really tough for the Niners. And I think they're going to get to Jimmy G and he's going to fold and they're going to show why they're ready to move on from him. So I think it'll be Packers 35-10. Be pretty lopsided. I'm kind of with you guys.
Packers 42-17.
I'm going to say, I think Devontae goes for like 130, 2 touchdowns. Could see Randall Cobb getting a touchdown just for old time's sake. I'll go Packers 35-20.
Okay. So on to Sunday. The first game is Rams at the defending Super Bowl champions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Good game.
I'm hammering the Rams. Hammering them. Lock it in, baby.
Really?
I am.
So if the Rams lose, you're giving up your title of winning picks this regular season?
Yeah, you can give Clark the shirt.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go. A Washington Commanders shirt. Let's go.
No, it's got to be a Nick Thompson shirt.
Oh,
no.
You're locking in. You're that confident with the Rams, huh?
The way they played, and they're going up against a hurt Buccaneers team. I don't know. I just think the Rams have. I think the defense is going to come to play. They're going to get to Brady a little bit. I mean, the both defenses are great, but the Rams are just ruthless. And if Matt Stafford can limit the turnovers, I think it's gonna be a close game. But I think the Rams take it.
And another piece of news: Tristan Wirfs is quote a long shot to play versus the Rams. If that's the case, Tom Brady is going to be feeling the heat because looking at one of their acquisitions the Rams got is Von Miller. And he's shown he has plenty gas in the tank still. So he could be having a very, very good day that day because is Ryan Jensen also not playing?
No, I'm pretty sure Jensen's good. I saw.
He played the rest of the game last week. So
John Murphy Bunting's still nursing an injury, so he's questionable right now. So that could be their only secondary piece that won't play.
Mr. P.I.
Oh, yeah, literally. No. I mean, but on the positive side for the Bucs injuries, I'm pretty sure Leonard Fournette came back today. He came back to practice Thursday today, so that's a big help. But it doesn't matter. He made the offensive line and all that made Keyshawn Vaughn look like a running back one on any team last week. So that shouldn't really matter. I'm taking the Bucs at home. I like the Bucs at home.
You're saying the Bucs still roll?
I think the Bucs still roll. At least one more week, I think. But
we've just seen where it's like, even without Robert Woods, Odell Beckham has stepped in perfectly to that role. Great. Like, he's not stretching the field deep, obviously, but now he's throwing passes, but also he's just getting open in the red zone. He scored 6 touchdowns already with the Rams when he scored 6 in his entire tenure with the Browns.
I know. No, he's been great. I just
like the fact that Stafford finally got the monkey off his back of finally winning a playoff game I think is big for him because that was the biggest thing was he can't win one, and he finally got that. But the fact that Wirfs isn't playing, I'm going with Steve. I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this Rams defense, what they did to a supposedly amazing offense with Kyler Murray. I mean, they made him look like one of the
Nothing.
worst. Yeah, exactly.
He was making Wentz plays, which thanks for that one.
Mike Evans is the only healthy receiver, and there's a little known number 5 on the other side, probably shadowing him, and Jalen Ramsey. So you assume Evans is most likely shut down for the game. Next man up is Tyler Johnson and Brashad Perriman.
I think Perriman is questionable.
I just can't. I can't see this hurt Buccaneers team going toe to toe. And the only thing that does it is Brady. I mean, Brady's so precise.
I can't bet against him.
So
you can't bet against him. That's my only thing.
No, I completely agree. But if they get to him, I mean,
JPP didn't practice.
I think the Rams have this one.
Didn't practice Brady, but that's just injury. McClanahan, jeez.
I'm going to say 24-21. Rams got to stop on the final drive.
And even Cyril Grayson, who's had a decent run for him, he has a hammy. He didn't practice, so he's probably not playing. So yeah, like you said, it's literally going to be. Oh boy, this is gonna be rough for the Buccaneers. So
David Wells, baby, locking up the right side.
Maybe the 1-year dynasty is finally coming to an end for the Buccaroos. Hope so. That'd be nice.
No, never.
I mean, it's not even Brady's fault. I mean,
but it's like now here's the question: if they lose, does Brady retire? Does he come back? Like, what are we doing now? Because it's gonna be that question. Because obviously he can't retire on a loss. Well, never.
Can't retire on a loss.
His pride won't let him do that.
No, he'll be back. That'll be kind of awesome though to see him at 50. I'm gonna go. I've been saying it. I'm gonna go with the Bucs here. I'm gonna go 28-24.
All right. Cool. So last game of the weekend, which I think could probably be the best game of the weekend, that's Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. Matchup kind of everyone's been waiting for. And basically, if the Bills want to get to the Super Bowl, they got to go through Kansas City, and they've had trouble the past few years trying to get through them. Can they finally do it?
Yes. And it will happen. Look, you saw that Stephon Diggs picture from last year. Him watching the Chiefs celebrate the AFC Championship and as the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl. That's in their head. I guarantee McDermott has shown that picture, shown that celebration to the players throughout the week, saying this could have been us. That could have been us right there. And the fact that they were so dominant last week against the Patriots, who were rolling throughout the majority of the year. I mean, the Chiefs have had their struggles, but obviously they found their way. I like the Bills here. I like this Bills revenge game. It's tough to win in Kansas City. I'm not saying
not a lot of people do it.
No, except if your name is Jacoby Brissett. But anyways, I really
broke the Chiefs as they then go on to win or get to the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah, literally.
No, that was the year they won.
Of course.
Yeah, because we had Phil last year.
Titans.
Yeah, we broke the Titans as they're 1 game away from the AFC Championship game. Played 90 players, got the 1 seed. Vrabel's going to win Coach of the Year. Yep, we broke them all right.
But no, I'm going out on a limb here. This is there's an upset, but I'm going to take the Bills in this one. The
big thing for me with the Bills is we say they don't have a running game. They do, just not with running backs, and that's going to be the big factors. If Josh Allen starts running with his legs, that is going to be really hard for Chris Jones and the entirety of the Bills defense to contain him. Because yes, Mahomes, not Mahomes, or did I say Mahomes or did Allen? I meant Allen. I think I said
Allen.
Mahomes. Okay, whatever. Because Mahomes, he runs, but he doesn't scramble. He runs to get out of the pocket and extend plays. Allen runs, and he runs people over.
Runs.
So if he has that factor going for him, he could easily win too. And like you said, it's just the Bills need this game. They need it to get anywhere and to prove, because they've been so close. And I don't know if they lose, I don't know what, obviously they keep trying, but it's there's certain teams the Knicks can get through Jordan and the Bulls and stuff like that. Teams couldn't get through the Yankees in the 90s. It's just there's certain teams that stonewall you and you can't get through it. If the Bills can finally break through, I think for me in the AFC, I think whoever wins this game goes to the Super Bowl. I think this is kind of the AFC champion.
I agree. I 100% agree with that statement. 100% agree.
This is just so tough.
It is a tough one. No, it is tough.
Because on one hand, you see how the Bills played against the Pats. They looked unstoppable. Then the Chiefs were getting shut out. And then they score 7 straight touchdowns. I mean, I
literally had a perfect game. Yeah.
I just don't know where to go with this. In Kansas City obviously helps the Chiefs. But at the same time, do we see a couple Mahomes type Wentz throws where he just tries to chuck it up deep and it gets
I love how that's kind of become a verb now? Kind of like how most is a verb. It's a went play. Yeah, great, thanks.
He tries
It's
to do
true.
a left-handed behind the back pass to Kelsey.
Yeah, but he completes those. That's the difference.
That is true.
And for
Not
touchdowns.
always. Not always.
Oh, no, I know. We don't see those.
But the Bills again have arguably the best defense in the league. So I mean, they might not work all the time.
Here's the thing: the Steelers had T.J. Watt. The Bills don't have that enforcer on the defensive line that's going to break through to get to Mahomes unless they send linebacker blitzes. I'm going Chiefs. I am. I think it's going to be close and it's going to be a shootout, but I'm going Chiefs 38-35.
So
high score. I think high score too.
So we're tied here, and I'm the tiebreaker. You know the old saying, because you're going with the Bills, right, Steve? And you're going with the Chiefs, the other Steve.
Yeah.
So the old saying is, no one circles the wagon like the Buffalo Bills. But I think that wagon's falling apart in a good way, and I think the Bills are finally going to get over the hump and beat the Chiefs and get to the AFC Championship game.
Chiefs. Okay. Cool.
So that's our divisional round preview. We'll see how it happens and how it shakes up and see what the championship games look like going into next week. So we'll post a podcast about that. And we doing a Rumble preview pod at all? Definitely a recap.
We'll do preview.
Okay, so that's still a week away.
Are we doing a live hit?
Yeah.
House?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Baseball still having a pissing match with each other. They haven't even talked to each other.
Apparently meeting Monday.
Yeah, the players are going to counter proposal on Monday, so who knows how long that'll last, albeit probably 5 minutes. But if any news with baseball comes about, we'll do a podcast on that, I'm sure. So whenever that happens and whatnot with the rest of the NFL season, we'll do some pods and see where can people listen to that.
Yeah, on the YouTube, the Spotify, the Apple Podcast. Subscribe on all those platforms. Follow our social medias on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Sports Depth Pod. That's Sports DPT Pod. Justin went through the rundown, so I don't have to repeat that. So stay tuned to all that fun stuff, and we'll see you in the next episode.